What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Sports to the Wire. For those of you who are actually new to the show, I am your host, Rashid Wright. My boy, Gregg Popovich on the other side of the panel, man.
What's up, guys? What's going on?
All right, so as you guys can actually see with the some gals, whoever's watching, a female, male, Team USA blunders, man. Like a lot of ish going on over here with Team USA, man. A lot of losses, man. Barrick, take us off over here, man. Take us off. What the hell's going on with Team USA, man? It's a lot of L's.
Well, you mean right now they don't have any. They don't have any cohesion right now. The bottom line is they don't have all their players. They just got their players now. You know, Drew Holiday and Booker and Chris Middleton just joined the team now, and the schedule's coming up. And I think right now a lot of these games are exhibition games, and they lost to some teams they had no business losing to. I think it really starts from Gregg Popovich, man. Has he been able to really coach these guys properly? Has he been able to galvanize and put these guys in position right now to be successful? And that's kind of where we are right now. You know, it's really difficult to put that in perspective right now. You know, but that's kind of where it happens right now with this team. The coach is basically working with a small team. You got 3 players now to rescue you, and now you have to find out moving forward how good this team is going to be. Right now, we just don't know. And
I mean, really, like the person I'm looking at this roster over here, man. And Damian Lillard is a great player, man. But like I haven't got a chance to watch a lot of the games, but the games that I actually have been watching, it's just like Damian Lillard sometimes with his shot selection. I mean, you have X amount of time on the shot clock, he'll come down and instead of trying to run some sets and try to get other players involved, he comes in and does a pull-up 3. And I mean, a lot of times he could make a lot of those, but when you miss a lot of those are really, really bad shots. And you got to get, let's say the bigs that they actually do have on this team are vital. Let me see who else.
They're bigs.
Kevin, I said JaVale McGee.
Yeah, JaVale McGee's not going to wow you. I mean, he's got good defensive presence, as I used to like call him, a good rim protector.
But he's still got to get touches in a sense, though, man. You got to get these guys some touches. They got to be able to touch the basketball. And the only player I see on this roster with who can understand that, like in terms of basketball IQ.
Draymond Green's got good basketball IQ. He's a good low post defender.
Kevin Durant. I'm talking about like a star player out of all these star players over here. Like Jason Tatum is like, he doesn't look to get other people involved just yet in a sense, though, to try to make other players better. That's the thing. The evolution of his game to push him into like superstar status. But Jeremy Grant is a role player. We'll see what happens with Devin Booker. Bradley Beal is another one. I mean, he's a scorer. Not necessarily like a guy who's going to, try to make other players around him better.
So here's the thing. They're starting July 25th, right? That's going to be on a Sunday. They're playing against France. That's going to be a tough game. Then they're going against Iran Wednesday, and then Saturday they're going to be going against the Czech Republic. Right now I'm looking at the possibility of them being 3-0 or 2-1. Where they get that loss from? Probably from France. They got a lot of ball players in France that can ball out. I'm not even sure what France's roster is at this point, but you're going to have to get these guys together. Your first game is on the 25th. All right. Now like I said, you just got Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, and Devin Booker. They just joined the team. That now completes your team. Now, Gregg Popovich, you have your squad.
All right, but Kevin Love is on this roster. He dropped out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But listen, I don't know what kind of condition Kevin Love would have been in anyway for Olympic competition. Right now, the players that you have, this is not the best assembled team I've seen in Olympic team.
Okay, so all right, Bradley Beal's off. Bradley Beal's actually off, and Kevin Love. So they've been replaced with Keldon Johnson and JaVale. This is not even. I mean, this doesn't. There's no Klay Thompson. I would love LeBron to be here. This is not a really good roster in a sense, though. I mean, Zach LaVine. He's young. He still actually has to learn to elevate the other pieces around him. I mean, he's Chris Middleton. I guess he could defend the. You know, you're not going to ask him to do a lot in a sense. He's just coming off the finals, off the championship. I just don't like the roster here, man. You know, Drew Holiday's not a pure point guard. You don't have a real pure point guard on this team here, man.
Well, the bottom line is, what exactly do you see in this roster? Do you see a team that can basically defend, or do you see a team that's going to have to outscore people in order to win? That's the question. And
I see a team that likes to get buckets, you know, and not necessarily even like Bam. Bam over here. I mean, I guess he can score, but it's like.
Yeah, Bam Adebayo was a defensive presence. JaVale McGee's defensive presence. You know, Kevin.
Yeah, Bam can score. I mean, but like JaVale McGee would be alive. Listen, one thing. Listen, European this FIBA and European basketball. I mean, these guys, they really, really exploit your weaknesses, man. They really,
like to run.
Really,
they like to run in Europe. They like to run overseas. And
no, but in terms of attention, I say, scouting in a sense, though. You know, these guys, if your guy can't shoot, they're going to back off in a sense. Their basketball IQ is really good in this. You know,
that's the natural concept of educating yourself about basketball, is to exploit the weakness of your opponent. But at the same time, I'm sitting on the most important thing is looking at how this team was assembled and asking yourself, can this team outscore people for the gold medal? Because they don't think they're going to really do a great job defending anybody. I really don't think they are. But can they outscore them? Can they pass the ball, make the high percentage play, and get back again? Yeah, and get back.
Is Draymond even I don't know, man. Was it the same Draymond Green that we actually getting in the championship run? I don't know. He's been abysmal from the three.
He's not the same Draymond Green that we are accustomed to seeing, but obviously, you know, he's on this roster, and obviously the Golden State Warriors still highly value him. So obviously he can still bring something to the table. But you know what? As you get older, no one's ever the player they were a year or two ago. So let's be realistic about it. You're not Tom Brady. So, you know, a lot of these players on this team, like I said, I see the ability to make high percentage plays. I just don't see fantastic defense on it, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
High percentage shots, not high percentage plays. And that's my main concern. The one true player that's who understands that is Kevin Durant. I mean, as soon as he gets doubled, he's not going to really take a bad shot. He's going to kick it out to the open guy and make the right play. These other guys here, you know, you can't really say that, you know. I don't know, Keldon Johnson from the Spurs. Nah, that must have been a Gregg Popovich going right there.
He's a replacement. He's a replacement. He knows his players.
But come on. I never even heard of this guy here, man.
Yeah, I mean, I just look at, and then another thing too is that the format is kind of because now the Summer Olympics basketball format places 12 nations in the 3 groups of 4. Each team plays 3 games, one against each team in their group. Each group's first and second place teams advance to the knockout round, as well as the 2 best third place finishers. The remaining 4 teams are eliminated after the group stage. So basically what this tells me is that Team USA has about 5 to 6 games to show what they're worth. If they don't do good in those first 5 or 6 games, they're done. So they have to get off to a fantastic start. And let me remind you, they're starting their first game next Saturday against France. That's not going to be easy. So you have time to get this team together. You just got your 3 players. They're just fresh off the NBA Finals. Now you got about a good week. Not a good week. You got about 2 or 3 days to really practice and get this team in some level of cohesion. And we'll see what happens. I think if they beat France on opening game or opening day, or we want to call that, I think it's smooth sailing after that.
Okay,
you know, that's what I see.
Yeah. You know what? Let me pull up the France roster because you're right, Barrett. This is not going to be an easy task. You're going to be surprised on the names that we have over here, and it has 5 NBA players on this roster over here. You got
Mm-hmm.
Nicholas Batum,
Mm-hmm.
Evan Fournier,
Mm-hmm.
Rudy Gobert,
Mm-hmm.
Timothy Laou Cabarro, TLC, and he can give you a like he's a borderline C player. He can give you some decent games, and then Frank Ntilikina, who can actually defend. Who's actually got
Frank Ntilikina can be your point guard.
yeah.
He's not going to really wow you scoring wise, but I see this team playing hard. Like I said, boys from France, man, they just they ball out.
Yeah. And listen,
So
Ntilikina actually plays better in international competition than he actually does in the NBA, right? And am I right about that?
well, he's on the bench with the Knicks, so that'll tell you.
No, but I remember in the international when they were
International, he's been
playing, he's
international.
actually a really good player. For
Yeah,
some
yeah.
reason,
Mm-hmm.
he has confidence. He's just a different player when he's actually playing on the France Olympics men's team in a sense, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, this French team is going to be tough. They're going to be tough. I'm not saying you can't beat them. I'm just saying they're going to be a tough. And it's fun. And I'm kind of glad that the USA gets them first. That's the first game they have. Because you win that game, I think it just gets smooth after that. They really do.
Yeah.
This team right now, they're going to have to find ways to score the basketball consistently, and they're going to have to play at least some level of good, decent defense. Their front court.
It's just really more about the ball movement I'm worrying about, and like them playing East-West basketball versus like North-South basketball. That's That's really my main concern right there, man. It's like North-South basketball. I mean, that is so easy to actually predict and stop. Especially, I think can you use a zone defense in the Olympics? They can go zone, right?
I'm not sure if they're doing that this year. I know in the past it's been straight man to man, but I don't know if that's what they're doing this year. But if they are,
if they're going to go zone, then you have to go east-west rather than north-south in a sense, though. We'll see what happens there, man. I don't like this roster. It's filled with a lot of. I mean, it says there's some promising players here, but it's a lot of young players who actually still learning the game and developing. I wish you could have got Steph Curry, Clay, LeBron, Kyrie, and James Harden initially was on there, which would be perfect because he actually knows how to run an offense. And but it's just like the mega stars. Kevin Durant really is the only one there, in my opinion, that has the highest basketball IQ.
Yeah, well, that's going to have to change, and that's going to be the responsibility of Gregg Popovich. So we shall see. We shall see. All right.
We'll wrap this video up. If you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe, certainly share. If you got any value out of this video, definitely smash that like button. Smash that.
That's right. Always a pleasure, guys. Thank you very much.
All right. Peace out.
Peace.